Organizational meeting of the Delta County Commissioners is being held this date pursuant to the following call. In a letter to the Commissioners dated May 17, 2024, and reading as follows. The Honorable Members of the Delta County Board of Commissioners, dear Commissioners, a reorganizational meeting of the Delta County Board of Commissioners is scheduled for Tuesday, May 21st, 2024 at 5:15 p.m. in the conference room of the Delta County Service Center. Sincerely yours, Nancy Presrocki, Delta County Clerk. Please rise for a word of prayer. Lord, as we begin this meeting, we are thankful for our many blessings. We ask for your guidance to help our commissioners make decisions in the best interests of the citizens of our county. And we pray for the safety of our military men and women. Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call. Commissioner Melner?
Here.
Commissioner View?
Here.
Commissioner Crosdale?
Here.
Commissioner Van Genhoven?
Here.
And Commissioner Jensen.
Here.
Okay. Our first order of business tonight is election of the board chair. So I'm going to open up the floor to nominations. Are there any nominations for chair?
I would like to address that we proudly nominate John Melner for the position of chair.
Okay. Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Okay, nominations are closed. All in favor of John Melner as board chair, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, motion carries. I'm going to hand the floor over to John.
Okay. Welcome. Thank you for coming. The second thing that we got is the election of the vice chair. So at this time, I would take nominations for vice chair.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to nominate Kelly and Genovan.
Okay. Is there any other nominations for vice chair? Is there any other nominations for vice chair? Is there any other nominations for vice chair? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Aye.
Okay. We have our chair and vice chair. Now, board assignments. I am going to go down the list. So if you want to write in your name, which ones we're going to be on. Personnel Committee, we need 2 commissioners. Commissioner View will be the chair of the personnel, and Kelly will be with that. Budget and Finance. Finance, Matt will be chair, and I will be on it. Public Safety and Judicial Services. Prosecutor, Commissioner View. County Sheriff, Commissioner Myra. Probate is Commissioner Crosdale. Circuit Court, Commissioner Crosdale. District Court, Commissioner Crosdale. Friend of the Court, Commissioner Crosdale. And Community Corrections, the UP Administrator, Commissioner Crosdale. Delta County Central Dispatch is, the alternate would be Commissioner View. Planning and Zoning Department, Commissioner Van Genhoven. Construction and Zoning Board of Appeals, Commissioner Jensen. Planning Commission, Commissioner Jensen and Commissioner Van Genhoven. Public Works, Board of Public Works would be myself. Cooperative Extension, Commissioner Jensen. Road Commission, myself. Airport Board, Commissioner Jensen and Commissioner Vangelhoven. QPAD Executive Committee, myself. QPAD Member at Large. Going by this?
Oh, I'm sorry, I apologize.
Commissioner, QPAD Member at Large would be Commissioner Jensen. Conservation District Board. Let's see here. The liaison would be Commissioner Jensen. The alternate would be myself. Building and Grounds, Commissioner View and myself. Solid Waste Management Authority, Commissioner Vangelhoven and Commissioner View for alternate. Workman's Comp Board, myself. Building Authority, Commissioner Jensen. Renaissance Center, Commissioner Crosdell. UP Authority, Commissioner Jensen. Brownfield Authority, Commissioner Myra. Now, let's see here. UP Conservation and Development. There's one commissioner and a private. One is going to be Commissioner Crosdale. The other one is myself. Superior Trade Zone, Commissioner Vangelhoven. Jail Committee. Administration, Sheriff, Prosecutor, and I need two commissioners. One's going to be Commissioner Vangelhoven. The other one is Commissioner Crosdale. Northwoods Rails, Commissioner View. UP, or UPCAP UP Energy Work, Commissioner Crosdale and Commissioner View.
What was that last one?
Then we have MAC various committees. It's myself and Commissioner View. And anybody wants to get on some other committee, they can. There's several committees out there. Parks and Recreation, Commissioner Vangelhoven. Department of Human Services Board would be Commissioner View. County Board of Health, Commissioner View and myself.
Commissioner Mulner, Parks and Rec has two commissioners.
Which one?
Parks and Rec Commission has two.
It only shows one here. Yeah,
In the
I'm-
past, it was one, now it went back to two.
it went back to two? Okay, the one I have is only one. I think it's on here again, baby. Park and Rec would be Commissioner Jensen then too. Add that one. I did the Board of Health. The UP Works would be Commissioner View. Myself as an alternate. Community Action is myself. And the alternate would be Commissioner Crosdale. UPCAP Board, Commissioner Crosdale. Alternate Education Board, myself. Little Big Council of Governments would be myself and Kelly. Pathways Authority is myself. North Care Network would be Commissioner View. Delta County Local Planning Body would be Commissioner View. Opioid,
What was the last one?
Local planning.
That's new for me, right?
No, you're on
the Opioid
yeah.
Task Force would be Commissioner View and Commissioner Vangelhoven. And the Parks Advisory Board would be myself and Matt.
We don't have an advisory board.
Oh,
anymore.
you,
Yeah, that was the other position.
oh, that was the
Yeah.
other one up
Yep.
here then? Okay,
She already has.
that's
So
where,
So are you gonna go on Parks and Rec with, Mr. Jensen and take me off then?
no, you can stay on it,
Oh, thanks, okay.
because I had you want to start out, so.
Okay.
I just thought there was two.
Okay.
Okay, and that completes our assignments.
Mr. Chair, can you guys turn your microphones on? Sorry. Mr. Chair, can you hear me?
Turn it on.
I did. Oh, is it better now? Mr. Chair, if possible, could we open it up for discussion in case any of the commissioners would like to switch their assignments?
Yes. Anybody would like to switch their assignments? That would better suit their schedule. I have no problem with that.
Commissioner Jensen, if possible, would I be able to take the Conservation District? Or would you prefer to keep that?
I'd kind of like to keep it. I think that would be a good time to be able to bridge what has happened and with the splitting of the parks and the conservation district to be able to. Now?
Sorry, rookie mistake.
And then closer.
There you go.
Can you hear me now? There we go. Sorry about that, folks. I'd like to keep it if possible, just because when the parks and the conservation district recently split, I think that would lend some good continuity and be able to mend the bridges that we had in between there.
Okay. I believe that was the only one I had.
Anybody else?
I'd need a list of what my assignments are. There were so many, so many different ones that, I was just a little disappointed in, not being consulted on two of the boards that I belong on, because I would have liked to, gave some information that I've been following up on for them boards, so. Which is okay. I mean, if you feel best of who you appointed, I will abide by them wishes.
Well, you can always suggest what you would like to remain on. That's why I asked if we could open it up for discussion.
Well, who did you put on the Solid Waste Authority?
Me.
Oh, okay.
Did you want to keep that one?
Well, I have some issues that came up at the MAC, I mean, not the MAC, but the UP Association of Commissioners that had to do with the railroad, Northwest Railroad, and also a new process that they want to get a discussion talked about on eliminating landfills. I mean, it's just discussion now, and I'm very excited to force these ideas on other people to hear them anyways. That's all. And I can pass it on to you.
Okay.
I don't have an issue with that.
Okay. Were there any others?
Well, I just marked what I went off of, you know,
Okay.
what I was taken off of, and that was one that I was looking at bringing some important things up for discussion, so.
And what I tried to do was mainly break up, because me and you were just loaded with committees, so I tried to equal them out. Any other discussion on board assignments? If not, we will move on to approval of the minutes of the previous meeting, County Board 5/7/24. Would need a motion. If everybody's read it. I know the three commissioners, you just come on board, so
I'll move to put the minutes into the records.
we need support.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passed. Approval of the agenda. Everybody looked over the agenda. I would need a motion to approve the agenda.
I move to approve the agenda.
I need a second.
I'll second.
Any other discussion? In favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Presentation of written communications.
There are none.
There are none. Reports of standing statutory special committees and others.
None.
None. Public comment on agenda items.
Joe Kaplan, I'm the chair of the Conservation District. I noticed that you have MEEP on the agenda from old business, and I was looking at the board pack, and I see a letter went out to the state, a complaint letter against me, and there's been a lot of toothpaste squeezed out of the MEEP tube over the last 3 months, and what my recommendation to you is just let that letter be. I'm sure if I deserve the gallows, the state will determine that on their own. But what I would say to you is that the most important thing for MEEP is you have plans that 2 or 3 meetings ago you voted to keep confidential. You really should release all your forest management plans and your MEEP plans that have to do with public property so the public can see them. And after that, then I won't, then we can discuss it, because otherwise, under the terms of MEEP, they're confidential, so I can't discuss them. Other people can do that, but I'm not one of them. So if you want to address MEEP, you gotta release those plans to the public. Thank you.
Any other public comments on agenda items? Any other public comment on agenda items? Okay, we'll go to committee reports, and we have the administrator's report.
Good evening. I would like to give an update on the courthouse security. Our front vestibule and circuit courtroom doors will begin work last week of May, first week of June. Once the construction is complete, we'll start organizing the installation of the body and package scanners. And I'd just like to thank the maintenance department, sheriff's department, and IT department. It was a great collaboration between the three, talking to all the departments and seeing what their needs were and addressing them as needed. Also, we went to the UPACC training, and a couple of the commissioners were able to go. And it was the materials management plan was the first presentation, which is what's going to be later on the agenda tonight. We also were talked to by Northern Michigan University, Mike Sasser, I believe his name was, or close to, cybersecurity and artificial intelligence. And that was kind of astonishing as I sat around the room and all the commissioners kind of whispering. And it was really happy to hear the suggestions that were given to us were already things that we were doing because of our AT director. So I'd like to thank him for that. Also, there was Peninsula Fiber Network was there, and they presented that they're starting 3 projects to bring fiber to underserviced areas in Michigan, and one of them is coming from lower downstate through Beaver Island and up into Gulliver. So that's fantastic to hear. And then also I wanted to let anybody that's listening that is a provider, there's grant opportunities that are coming forth, so please contact us if you would like to provide fiber networking to underserviced areas. Next is renewable energy, and this one kind of, it was a hard topic in the room, but, so this public act, we have to prepare for November 29th or 24. We were advised not to do anything, but start seeking maybe attorneys and planning agencies, because it is still unclear or unknown But I know a lot of people, a lot of municipalities are going to be seeking out those services, so we need to be looking forward for that. Sorry. And then also, Memorial Day is on Monday, so I hope everybody has a happy Monday. I have listed a couple of activities that I hope people of Delta County can enjoy. They're listed as Holy Cross Cemetery at 9 a.m., Perrinville, 9 a.m., Lakeview Cemetery at 9:25, Schaefer at 9:30, Ardenson Island Bridge at Ludington Park at 10 a.m., West Ford River, 10 a.m., South Ford River, 10:30 a.m., Gardens of Rest Memorial Park, 11 a.m., Bark River at 11:30, and then ending with the Rapid River Memorial Day Parade at 12:30. So I hope to see everybody there. And finally, I'd like to congratulate all the graduates, our local graduates. They've probably persevered through late nights of studying, challenging exams, and countless assignments. So just congratulations to them. And that is it.
That report.
I'll move to put the administrator's report on file.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, department heads updates. Any department heads?
Yeah, I just wanted to take this opportunity to let the board know about a little-known office in the courthouse with a long history, and that's the Register of Deeds office. So I have two offices back several years ago, several decades probably. Somebody in their wise thoughts combined the county clerk's office with the Register of Deeds office so that they could save one whole elected official salary, and because, like, I don't have anything else to do. But it's a great little office, and we have two very hardworking employees in there. Rob Buckler is the chief deputy, and Kayleen Wellman is the deputy register. And so they've been working very hard. The information in the clerk's office is that it records all the land transactions for the county, okay, for all of Delta County, going way back to when we became a county in 1861. So you're going to get some history here. We have surveyor notes on file that were recorded from back in the 1830s and 40s when Delta County was originally surveyed. So it was done with rods and chains. All of Delta County was surveyed, and the three new commissioners and probably the two older commissioners probably don't realize that we have a remonumentation going on that's been going on for probably 5 to 10 years before I started, which was over 23 years ago. So this has been a long-term project funded through the Register of Deeds office. That's a remonumentation fund. Monies are collected off of each document to do a new survey because that other one is quite old. And but they're finding that it was very accurate, even though they were using rods and chains. So you'll get a report once a year from our county surveyor that these monuments are being checked. It's the corners. It's the corners of each of the sections of land. So, so we have land patents from 1852 and 1856 in the Register of Deeds office, and we have documents that were signed by Abraham Lincoln because he was the president when we actually became a county. So all of our records were on paper through the years, and they're in big books. The indexes are really big books, and they're about this thick and about this big. So back in 2005, there was legislation that created an automation fund where $5 per document is put into a fund for the Register of Deeds office, and this money can be used to computerize the office and purchase equipment. So because there were a lot of Register of Deeds offices that were not computerized at that time. So starting in 2005, we started scanning and indexing on the computer documents. So from 1989 to 2005, they were indexed on the computer, but you still had to go to the libraries and pull the books out and find the document in the books. So, so everything moving forward from 2005 is now indexed and scanned into the computer. So you type in a name and you can pull up that document right on the computer. But that was such a short span, well, now it's 19 years, but at that time, so what I initiated was a backloading project, and we've been backloading since 2005, and Rob Buchler is been in charge of that for the last 19 years. He's excellent at proofreading, so that's a big part of it, and so my staff puts in extra hours every week, and they're back to February of 1967. So everything from February of 1967 forward, you can type into the computer and pull it up. And you no longer have to pull those big books and find the documents that way. Although it's very interesting to do that. So, so it makes it a lot easier to search the records. So just wanted to update you on that project.
Thank you.
Steve Worry, Delta County Park Manager. I just want to congratulate the 3 new commissioners for coming on board. I want the 3 new ones and Mr. Melner and View let you know that I have open door policy. Anytime anybody needs to get a hold of me, I will make time to meet with you guys. I will let you know that there's an awful lot going on in the parks, and the parks are a big animal to run. I've got my whole staff will be coming on board tomorrow, and through this whole transition, it's been a major challenge because I've been managing the camp spot. I've booked all the pavilions, the cabins, and the cabins that got power in at Pioneer Trail Park are doing very well. Versus the ones at Fuller, I only have 3. So the power makes a big difference. So moving forward here this summer, what my plan is to sit down and spend some time with my boss when she gets a little time. And I kind of want to lay out my plan, especially for maybe the next 2 years. And it has to do with budgetary purposes and what I feel the priority, what the public really wants and needs. And then when we do that, I am real anxious to get this advisory board on. I've been kind of waiting. And the reason being is I want the public to have involvement in their parks. And that's why I like the fact that there's a member from each district that's going to be on, a couple of county commissioners. And I also want the people to know you're still welcome to come to the public meeting. And it is an advisory board, but when we meet, we're going to make it positive, and we're going to do our homework. So when we present it to the county board, I'm pretty sure they'll accept the projects that we're going to look to do. I just want to explain one little thing that's been challenging. So whenever you do some of these bigger projects, I'll only do them if they're above board, 100%. And I am just now getting my 4th well online. I got 1 more water test tomorrow, and the other ones have passed so far, so I figure it's going to be fine to go for Memorial Day weekend. But we took the rustic area that had 20 sites and made them all modern. So now they all got water and they all got power. The other really nice thing about that is it's going to bring the income into the county parks a whole lot faster because we can go from $15 to $35. There's already a lot of them that are being booked. But with that being said, I've got to deal with the health department. Met with Dana today, and I've got to deal with Eagle. And Josh Aiden is the guy I'm meeting with downstate. Before I can really turn water onto them 20 parks, I've got to meet an additional half gallon per site. You know, so that's another 10 gallons per minute that I've got to do. Well, the half-horse pump that we had and no log record on the well, not knowing how deep it was, how much water it would provide. So I did ask for some prices on doing a flow test. That came into around $4,500. That wasn't acceptable to me that would be a waste of money. So I actually got a hold of Corey Schroeder, who works for the service center, works for you guys. He's a licensed plumber. And I said, I've got a lot of expansion tanks at Pioneer in the shower building. And I know that's got to do something for the volume of water that needs to be distributed, because main pump, it's 300 feet deep, 3-horse pump. And he said, yes, it does. So Corey took and did a little homework for me with Williams. And we're putting in 3 more big expansion tanks in the pump house. And when we do it, we're gonna put all of the stuff inside the pump house, and we're gonna separate all 3 lines. When I put the new water system in, probably 8 years ago in the main campground, just like I did here, I isolated different valves. So I can actually partition off probably 4 different parts of that park, so if there's a problem, I don't have to shut the whole park down. So that's been very beneficial. So I just really want to thank Corey and Rich. They actually came over and hooked the water line from the 2-inch PVC to the other pipe, and they also put in a 3/4-inch submersible pump for me. And we met with Ashley, we got the funding. The 3 tanks will be here the 1st of June. I will know Friday whether I can turn the water on them 20 campsites, but I will not do it unless Eagle and the health department gives me permission to do it. But however, there will be no sterilization for any of the campers there, because we have a dump station. They can fill their unit, they can dump when they leave, and its power is what they're really after, and they'll have that anyway. And I don't have a lot of them for Memorial Day booked in that area right now. And talking with Josh today, he received my literature. He is very happy with what I sent him. I know it's gonna meet the 30 gallons a minute, and all of my water is cleared. So I just want to give you a little update on that, and if we can get this advisory board going, I would really like that. I'd like to have a park tour for whoever sits on that board. And then I think that in September, October, annually, they should take and take a tour of that park to see what our goals and objectives have been met, and if there's something that needs to jump over something else that we had planned. So I'm looking forward to working with yous. I like to work in a very positive direction. We work for the taxpayers of this county. Parks belong to them. But come Friday, every park will be mowed and looking very, very well. So stop on in and see our new office. It's all been remodeled. Looks very, very nice. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Steve. Any more department updates? Hearing none, we will go to unfinished business. The MEAP. Ashley, you want to talk a little bit about that, or?
Sure. So earlier at prior board meetings, it was said that Delta County received these management plans through other ways besides when I requested from Mr. Kaplan what was in his MEAP verification. We had discussions with Rory trying to narrow down when these plans were given to us. It came down to, we could not find any such documents in our files. So the only copy that I have are the ones that I've acquired through the MEAP verification. So I'd like to bring up the question if the commission would like to lift the FOIA exemption of these management plans or not. And also, the prior commissioners wanted a list of benefits and costs of this program on withdrawing. I don't know if we would still want to move forward in this avenue or not. So I guess I just have a couple of questions.
Mr. Chair, can I make a comment?
Yes.
Are we still filing a complaint on confidentiality? Because that's listed in here by, is that still relevant? Has it been sent or
It's
not?
already been sent.
Okay, so when was that sent? After the last meeting?
Yeah. I think it would have been probably Wednesday or Thursday. I don't know the exact date.
It looks like did you not agree, Ashley, that there wasn't a breach of confidentiality or at that meeting?
Between Mr. Kaplan and I?
Yeah.
Yes.
In the
it was
MEETS,
not.
in the MEETS
Him and-
program, because you communicated with them before. So how, I mean, when I read this letter, there's a lot of issues in there that I think do you think they're going to do something, or when they contact us, should we just say it's under control as far as being satisfied that there wasn't a breach of confidentiality? Can we give you that authority to communicate with them that way, and that we don't want to pursue this, is what I'm looking at?
I can reach out to Mr. Schweitzer and let him know.
I would move that if a motion to allow Ashley to contact him and say we're going in a different direction, and we understand as a full commission that there wasn't a breach of confidentiality that's what we were told at that meeting, yet we still passed it. Is that correct?
It's a very long motion.
It's long, but I just want to get out there that we communicate with them, even though they have this letter, that I want to see if this whole board's on the same page, that we don't feel there was a breach of confidentiality according to what was given us as information at the last meeting. Did you get that, Nancy?
Well, so you just want to address the
I mean-
confidentiality portion?
Yes, I mean, this is a two-part question. I mean,
Right.
two-part
Okay.
thing on the action item. The other one is releasing the information. But the first one, I'd like to take care of the old part, that I thought it was made clear by you, and I thank you, that there was not a breach of confidentiality. And I want you to be able to portray that in a conversation with who this letter is sent to.
Okay, why don't we get a second and then have some more discussion then?
Okay.
Can I get a second?
John, you're allowed to
Yeah.
vote too, so just to let you know. You don't have to be silent.
I'm gonna do a second just to get some more discussion made. Maybe one of the new commissioners has some,
May I speak?
yes.
Okay. Regarding this letter that was sent, it was in two parts. First was confidentiality, second was discrimination. So I would just ask that you amend your motion to include confidentiality. There was no breach of confidentiality, and there was no discrimination.
I only know about the confidentiality. Ashley has not reported to me about anything to do with discrimination, or is there something you can report to us on that? Because I would change my motion to the extent I know nothing about the discrimination part of this. Because that wasn't really a topic during that time. Even though both was mentioned, it was brought forward to us that there was no breach of confidentiality in the communications she had with MEPS.
Anybody else?
Mr. Chair, can I ask our Ashley a question then? Was there a breach of discrimination, I mean, was there discrimination that you talked about during that conversation or meetings with Mr. Kaplan and MEPS and all the parties involved? I mean, what would you say would be the discrimination part, if any?
I don't have a comment. This was Commissioner Barron on discrimination, so I don't have a comment on what he wrote on here.
Well, there looked like a lot of personal stuff in there, if you read the whole thing. And I didn't know if that was, you know, trying to use his position for certain things and stuff like that. I don't know if that comes to the criteria of discrimination. So I would just like to address what I know for sure that was told me, and that would be confidentiality.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to raise a point of order with that.
Yes.
One of the things, this has already been sent, and the other individual, we have one here and one here, and they've already asked to let that go. It's already over at the state versus us sending something back forward. Let them continue to do their process and let them come to their own conclusion one way or the other versus us trying to re-interject into something that's already ongoing. Just let it work its process at this point would be my recommendation.
Basically, Mr. Chair, what my motion is saying, that if she communicates with them, it's a done issue according to our board.
Can you amend your motion to what Matt just said?
Withdraw the
More
complaint.
or less,
Withdraw the complaint.
huh?
Withdraw the complaint.
Withdraw the complaint.
Officially withdraw the complaint.
Well, it's pretty simple. I didn't think we could because it was already sent. Otherwise, I would have probably did that first.
I could just send a notice that we're withdrawing our complaint at this time.
All right, I'll withdraw my motion,
I'll withdraw my second.
and then I'll reissue that we just don't pursue the complaint, withdraw the complaint, whatever.
I need a second.
I'll second.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Done deal. Okay.
We addressed the management plans, though. About releasing the,
Oh,
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I'll make another motion, I'm always thinking, to do the recommendation to release the plans so that we can talk publicly about the MEEPS program.
I'll second that.
any discussion on that?
I would just like to confirm that it is the recommendation of our administrator that we do this. Is that correct, Administrator?
I've been kind of going back and forth on the recommendation. The only part that I worry is that we start making exemptions for FOIAs, and then where do we draw the line again? And I want to be as transparent as possible. Reviewing these documents are just our management plans, which if they were found in any other way, like if I would have found the documents that Rory had given us many years ago, I would have been able to release it. So I do recommend just releasing these, just the management plans. And then going forward, those should be brought to the board and approved at a board level, so they would be released anyways. So I do.
Does everybody agree with that?
We have a motion.
Just the management plans, correct?
Yes.
Just the management plans for our parklands and our forest.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. So, we
Does the
come up,
commission with the further look into withdrawing from this program? I know that was approved from the left, and I just want to, I did have some benefits and some costs, but just kind of wrapping up this whole item. I know it's a lot.
Yes, I want to get it
Right,
under
so
the.
it was
Yeah.
brought to the commission had approved, I think it was like April 29th meeting, to start looking at the costs and the benefits of withdrawing from this program. Are you still interested in withdrawing from this program or not, or can we just kind of let this?
Myself, I think we should stay with this program.
Agree.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a comment. I think that our representatives on the Conservation District can come back with a recommendation after talking with their board on what would be best suited for this commission to move forward with.
I just think that, I think we should stay in this program. The benefits, I really couldn't find very much cost besides time. We're already gonna be developing management plans anyways. So why not just apply those management plans to a program? I think it would really help us when we're applying for future grants, showing that we have this environmental stewardship. And then also just the services that this program offers. If we have questions, for example, our Fuller project, I've talked to the meat verifier numerous times and just saying, hey, this is the avenue we're taking, are we taking it in the right direction according to the meat program? And then he kind of gives me some advice or opinions, and further, I would probably reach out to the meat technician locally here, and just kind of asking those so they can point us in the right direction, because that is the purpose of that program. So, I mean, being environmentally friendly, so. Anyways.
Mr. Chair, another comment. Are we, I'd like to ask Ashley, are we managing this ourselves, or are we getting help from, like, the Conservation District or just a meat representative? Or can the Conservation District guide us through this process also to collaborate better on
I guess-
everything?
What process?
For the meat, management plans and stuff like that, I mean, are we doing that, or are you doing all that? Are you adding this to your plate?
No, no. So the Conservation District does assist because they're administrating the program. So they do assist us indirectly. It would be the parks manager that would go through the verification process. But the verification, it lasts for 5 years. So we were just verified June of '23. So it won't come around until 28.
28.
Yep, 28.
So it's just a moot point, we just continue going the way we've been.
And then
Yeah.
when they come back, they're gonna ask, have we made any changes? And then we're gonna address any changes that we've made. And we
Okay,
give
that
that
was,
way
that was
Good.
more for informational
Yep.
than anything right now?
Yeah, as long
Okay.
as we don't wanna
Yes.
withdraw, we're kinda letting this
Okay.
go wayside. Great.
Good. Now we'll move on to appointment to the data board. And
We did
there's
not
one
rec-
opening.
Yeah, we haven't received any further, recommendations from the Township Association.
Okay,
So there is still one on the table.
okay. Now back on,
Mr. Chair, about that, are we going to appoint somebody?
Yes.
I did communicate with Ms. Nelson. She is still willing to take the position. She told me that they've been having a difficult time obtaining a quorum, so I think it behooves us that we, I'll move that we appoint her to that data board.
Support.
any more discussion? I'll just add that the Township Association did recommend Teresa Nelson for this job also, so all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed.
Thank you, Teresa. Thank you to Teresa.
Yes. New business, payment of bills.
I have examined all claims presented and recommend payment of the following, and that the county clerk be directed to issue orders on the county treasurer to the claimants for the amounts allowed: $3,468,691.46, and commissioner expenses of $971.94.
Need a motion to pay our bills?
I'll make a motion to pay our bills in the total of $3,468,691.46.
I'll second.
And the additional part for the commissioner's expenses of $971.94.
Sorry.
It's all right.
Sorry, Matt.
Commissioner View,
Yes.
Crosdell,
Yes.
Jensen,
Yes.
Van Genhoven,
Yes.
and Melner.
Yes. Bills are paid. Okay. Number 2, multi-county material management plan. Resolution and interlocal agreement. Ashley, you want to?
Sure. Presented before you is several tasks that kind of need to be wrapped up here. We also have Ryan from QPAD that is in the audience in case there's any questions. The first step is to approve this resolution before you to enter into a local agreement. And then in this resolution, we will be designating the QPAD as the designated planning agency and giving permission for QPAD to assist us in submitting the notice of intent to EGLE.
Okay, can I get a motion on this?
Then, I'm sorry, once this is approved, we're gonna need
Oh.
appointments also. So there's 4 appointments. There's the Delta Solid Waste Disposal Facility Operator and a hauler. So we're gonna be seeking out, we'll have a 30-day notice. I think it's at the bottom of today's agenda. And we will also, this is optional, it's not mandatory. The other 2 I just spoke of are mandatory, but an elected official of the county or municipality and a representative from a business that generates managed materials within the planning area.
Okay, do you want to have a motion on this now, or do you want to wait until we get our 4 people?
Nope, we can have a motion on the resolution. We don't have to wait for the appointments. We can make the appointments at a later
Okay.
time. But it's all kind of written into that resolution, so I just wanted to explain it a little bit.
Okay, so I need a motion to accept the resolution
Adopt.
or adopt.
I'll move that we adopt the resolution.
I need a second.
I'll second it.
Any discussion?
I just want clarification. This is not mandated, but yet mandated for us to have this material management plan, correct?
Correct.
And it's going to benefit all the counties involved that are listed here as cost savings to the taxpayers, correct?
Yes, we are going to be coordinating together, yes.
Okay, so, I mean, it's mandated, but not mandated to do the,
The local agreement or the
Okay.
multi-county.
but that's advantageous for us to do that. So that's why I support it. I just wanted to let people know that.
And then I also want to point out there is a cost to this, $13,000 a year. Typically, I would have brought this forward to the finance committee, but due to the activities that have been happening, I just brought it straight over to the Board of Commissioners. It is expected to recoup this through grants. In our conference that we went to on Friday, it was said that we would be receiving $60,000, correct me if I'm wrong, Commissioner View, because I know you were listening.
Actually,
$60,000
yeah.
each commissioner, and then $10,000 for participating in an interlocal agreement.
I think each of the counties would get that 60,000 each to
Yes.
implement this, plus the additional 10,000 because we formed a partnership.
Right,
And don't we get 50 cents per
capita,
Yeah.
capita?
Yep.
Which would be about
Per
another
population, yes.
18.5
correct.
Yep.
Are we,
for first 3 years.
just want to make sure I'm not, Yep.
My only other question would be, Mr. Chair, is I am hoping, and correct me if I'm wrong, that we don't have to raise rates for our citizens in doing this. I mean, I don't know if the answer is out there, if the gentleman Ryan knows anything about that,
We
because
can have Ryan come up and talk about it.
I'm just concerned about, we're getting a lot of money, we're doing something that's required for us to do, a little more than what's required. Will not cost citizens money, or will it in the future? That's my
Not at
question.
this time, like you said, the state is making available 60,000 flat out, then the 10,000 for participating, and then the per capita for 3 years. So during the whole plan development phase that's paid for by the grant money, At the end of the plan development phase with all the 6 counties, the county will have a goal to kind of increase its recycling rate. So that may come with an associated cost, but it's hard to say what that might be. We're not anticipating that we're gonna jump to recycling everything tomorrow. It may be moving it by 1% every couple of years or so, based on the recommendations of our local representatives and the committee as a whole.
Can I ask another question? Since you made projections, like 3 years, it stops, is there a forecast on cost after that when we don't have the money to do this and we're already full swing in doing this and we
So-
can't stop it?
Our agreement is for 5 years, and that's
Okay.
set by the statute. Eagle has made us aware that at least the per capita, the 60,000, the 10,000, and the per capita will be available for 3 years. They anticipate that the 60,000 and the 10,000 then will continue as long as that funding is reauthorized by the state. So that is up in the air. At the end of that 3 years, that could go away. You would still pay the funds that are outlined in the agreement based on that 5-year timeline. So it would be the 13,000 a year.
And if we join up with 2 or 3 other counties, that's all added into it, correct?
Right, yes. So the agreement sets a base cost for us for administrating this plan. The counties are receiving a considerable deal to join and share that cost between 6 counties instead of individually. We've heard from downstate and other places that the cost of these plans would take up the entire grant amount or more. We are just asking for the 13,000 and don't anticipate that we would take any more of that unless you ask us to do additional work. So what's remaining you would use for implementation. That's recycling outreach, it's expanding recycling out to the county, it's doing other sorts of activities like that that would use the grant funds for the future.
Yeah, well, Mr. Chair, one more comment. My main concern is the pot is sweetened by the grants, the per capita, the 60,000, the 10,000. Now we're into it full swing for 3 years. I just have thoughts of what this could cost our citizens after that. I only have that concern sitting up here, that the taxpayers all of a sudden, once we get into something good because we are enticed into it, or mandatory, actually, we're mandatory to do something. And then it's not supported after that at the state level or whatever.
So the state does have benchmark standards for the county to meet along the timeline. Most of those in Delta County are already met, except for a rural access drop-off facility. So you can anticipate that there will be a cost associated with that. Don't know exactly how much that would cost, or whether that would be taken up by a private developer or funded some other way through the grants or such. So it's hard to say at this point, looking out into the future, what it may cost.
I guess the one part I look at with this, and that's based off of the other presentation, this is already being mandated
Yep.
and what those goals are from the state. So either we do it as a group of counties and distribute that cost and make it less for all of us, or we're gonna be on the hook for the entire thing as those state benchmarks come up that we have to meet and have to pay for it all on our own.
All counties, yes. Or Delta
And I think
counties
all
are-
15 counties in the UP are on this right now, right?
No, so it's split, in the UP, solid waste planning has been the purview of the regional planning agencies. So there's us in the central, there's the EUP and the western UP. We're split now by planning agency. Western is under 6, we'll be under 6, eastern will be under 3, just as it has been for the past 30, 40 years.
Okay.
Downstate, it's a lot more complicated, and there's other agencies that are doing this work.
Okay. Anybody have any more questions for Ryan? Thank you, Ryan. Now, we need a,
We have the motion.
we have a motion, we have the second.
We
Should
have
we
no
do a roll
choice.
call on this?
It's up to you.
Yeah.
It's a resolution, so yes.
Yes.
Okay. View,
Yes.
Crosdell,
Yes.
Jensen,
Yes.
Van Genhoven,
Yes.
and Melner.
Yes. Okay. Number three, the resignation of S. Baldwin. Request a lump sum payout to fill his position.
We had our corrections officer turn in their resignation, and we're just looking for approval to pay them out and then also fill the position. And we actually do have already an applicant waiting, so it's
Cool.
going to be a quick turnaround.
So I need a motion.
I'll make the motion to accept S. Burkham's resignation
And PO.
I need a,
And PO.
and payout.
And fill the position.
And fill the position.
Support.
Three things all at once.
any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And then typically the commission also asks for a thank you letter.
Yes.
Oh, yes. A thank you yet letter for their service. Yes, please.
Yep. Send that out.
Motion pass.
Thank you.
We come to general public comment.
Al Ettenhofer, UP Whitetails Association. I just want to reconfirm my commitment to the commissioners as far as Parks and Recreation. I was sworn in before some of yous took office as far as on the advisory board. And I would like to work with Ms. Dory and to continue on. I am also one of the people that secured the financing for the 1,400 acres through the state, and I was the grantee that secured the $53,000, some odd dollars, for the grants that we put in on the ground, planting the trees, the wildlife openings, and everything else. And I made a commitment at that time to my friend Keith Cray, the director of the DNR, that I would keep eyes on it and make sure that it followed through. And I want to continue that commitment. And I'm willing to work with you people to make sure that that property turns out the best of its ability and for the general public, and actually work for the wildlife, the people, to allow hunting and trapping as well as viewing and other recreational areas out there. So please consider it, and I'm ready to go, put it that way. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Any other public comment? Please state your name.
My name is John Myers, and I'm on the Board of Canvassers. And first, I want to congratulate the new commissioners, but I have a request that Bonnie Heckela be removed from the Board of Canvassers. And I'm not doing it to be vindictive. I feel that she didn't serve her oath, didn't follow her oath, didn't do her job. It caused a lot of chaos in our county, and I just don't think she should be on. And I got two concerns: the primary coming up and a general election in November. And I feel it could be a real problem if it happens again, especially the November election. And that's just how I feel. And then I also want to thank Nancy P. there, because I can never pronounce her last name, for following her oath of office. And she's been a great advisor. I've been on the board for about 14, 15 years, whatever it's been. And I've learned a lot from her over the years on elections. I really understand the system real well. And I just appreciate everything she has done. She's a great clerk for this county. And I grew up here. I just want this county to go in the right direction. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Any other?
Nate Cheesebro with City of Escanaba. Formerly, before I moved here in Escanaba, I was in Chippewa County on their board of canvassers. I'd like to piggyback on what was just requested on the removal of Bonnie Hagala. Frankly, I think that was an embarrassment for our county and our community on a nationwide level. And it was a failure to perform her duties. So I'd just like to second that request as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other general public comment? Any?
Demadits, Escanaba. I read this in newspaper. One of the new commissioners said, I think with these 5 commissioners, we are going to want to bring the calmness back, the stateness back, and get back to just the work of the people. To me, this is the clear admission of what a group of people have been doing during the meetings for the past months. We heard them, we watched them, and recorded some unethical behaviors. These board meetings will be held in peace for a while, we know, because they are satisfied and happy. So we will be watching your good work, which you said a little about it. And answer to Mr. Myers, chaos was not created by Bonnie. We know how it started, how it continued, and such a big chaos came with the recall with very little meaning in it. Thank you.
Any other public comment? Any other public comment? Any other public comment? Public comment is closed. Commissioner comments. Start off with Myra.
I don't have anything right now.
Commissioner View.
Should I repeat what she said? No, personally, there's been a lot of disruption lately. This is the first time we've had a recall in Delta County, I guess, in our history. Whether good or bad, I think the social media played a big part, either helping people or hurting people. But basically, I wrote a couple statements here that I'd like to say in regards to the outgoing commissioners, Moyle, Barron, and Peterson. And I'm taking the opportunity to express my deepest gratitude to each one of them. It has been an honor serving our county alongside such dedicated individuals, which have led us to many significant accomplishments for our county. I'm being positive here. I'm not trying to go on the negative track because there has been lots of accomplishments. I am truly grateful for my learning experience that each one of them provided me. Something individually that I kind of use even to this day. And I hope they will accept my best wishes for their future endeavors. And I want to thank them and have them take care of whatever's important to them. So I hope people don't take that wrong. I just feel that they have done much work in our county. The other thing is the landfill. I would like people to look up what they call plasma gasification. I've been excited about that for 2 months, and I know very little about it. So I'm hoping the community kind of looks it up and sees what it's all about, because it's a gentleman out of Wisconsin that's trying to get dialogue talked on that process for our landfill, which he projects will eliminate landfills as we know them today. The other thing that our Administrator Ashley touched upon is cybersecurity. And another new terminology that we can all look up is quantum computing. I've always liked futuristic stuff. I started looking into that, and it looks like the next challenge for all of us on social media, the internet, and stuff like that will be this new phase of supercomputer power, from what I understand. And it's very new to me, the first time I ever heard it. So I hope the audience and people look up that stuff and give our commission some advice on both them issues. I will continue my energy and stay focused on the citizens and issues that the people bring to the board, and the taxpayers of our county. And I feel real proud and realize the importance of working with all our new commissioners. Mr. Melner, you're the old one. I'm talking to the three new ones. I do have the policy, an open policy also, and will communicate issues that I feel are important. Not the round robin, but just say, hey, I think this, I think that, and I'm offering you to do the same to me. I was disappointed in not seeing any Memorial Day activities in my district of Gladstone. I might have to check into that and see why. And then the other thing we were handed, I don't know if John was going to say something about it, the Garden Gallery 2024 open house is this Thursday, May 23rd, way on the other end of the county. So people that don't know anything about it, which I didn't know anything about it, there's all kinds of things happening on Thursday the 23rd from what I can see right now. So it might be something you want to take a trip out there and see what's going on. And last, can we make sure the committee updates are emailed to everybody, just for reference, that Mr. Chair has reissued? I wrote down a few that I was taking off.
Yes. When you said updates, I was thinking updates from like actual committees, sorry.
No,
I get you.
there's
Assignments.
committee assignments.
Yes.
Just so we have a record. So I have my record, so I don't miss a meeting.
Absolutely will be sent.
And I know there's a meeting I don't have to go to next week. So, thank you.
Kelly?
Am I up? Okay. I would just like to take a moment to thank our Administrator Young, Clerk Pizraki, and our IT Director for their help in getting us set up so quickly. We appreciate your efforts in continually changing the scheduling around and keeping us updated. It was a confusing process, but it all ended up well. And I just wanted to take a moment also to thank our building and grounds crew. The front of the courthouse and the court building looks really nice. I walked by there today with my dogs. And then lastly, in my district, the city of Escanaba, the farmers market opens on Saturday, June 1st. So I look forward to seeing everyone there. Thank you.
Johnson?
Yeah, there's actually two pieces of legislation that are still working their way through the state that will be of particular interest to not just one district, but the county as a whole. And I know Commissioner Melner had previously reported on the one that was working through with a process with septic tanks in the state. We actually had gotten an update on that where they actually brought in those individuals that actually work in that field. And their determination back to the state was, we don't even have those kind of resources to do what you would like to do. So, but that bill is still out there, so we'll see if that helps fix part of those issues they want to do, because that's something that would affect, I think, probably close to 90% of our residents. If it's not 90, it's a vast majority of them, especially in the outlying areas. The other one that's noteworthy is there's a process that they're looking at changing the legislation on the Open Meeting Acts. And they're actually looking at making a 3-tier system for the Open Meeting Act. And that would actually, the one part is, depending on what level of government or what level of local government you are, could have a different requirement. So depending on if it was a township, the county, maybe it's the same, maybe it would be different. When you get the stuff at, say, at the state level versus state committees versus the General Assembly of the state legislature, all of that could be different. And so that'll be something to pay particular attention to as we move forward. Right now, it's one item, and here's, what quantifies what has to be, open and what you can do in a closed or executive session. And all of that could be changing here soon. So that's something to pay particularly attention to as we move forward.
Nancy?
I just want to say thank you. Thank you to John Meyer, and then also thank you to my staff that's worked very hard. They always work very hard, but they've worked exceptionally hard on this last election and getting all the stuff we need to get out. So, thank you.
Ashley?
Yes, just a small little announcement. Gladstone American Legion Post is looking for volunteers to put flags and markers on veterans' grave sites at Fernwood on Friday at 9 a.m. So if anybody would like to join.
Okay, myself, I would like to thank everybody. I would like to thank the commissioners for putting me in charge of being chair. And at least we had some good laughs tonight. And I thank you. Yes. The notices, we got a that's right. Regular board meeting, 6/4/24 will be at 5:15. Our regular board meeting on 6/18 will be at 5:15. We are planning on, if something comes together, that we're gonna have a meeting of a whole. So if that comes up, we will put a notice out there. Notices of 30-day notice appointments, Central Upper Michigan Peninsula Material Management Planning Committee. Ashley, you said 4 people? So we are looking for 4 people to get on that board. I need a motion to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah. For the news, gets you. I need signatures for vice chair and chair. So you sign your name twice with this pen. And you can use this one if you want to sign your name twice, kind of space it apart so I put the line, so in case you want a line, if you want to wait, I only brought one line.
You just want me to sign my name twice?
Yes. Blank piece of paper so I can just, do whatever.
And you want space?
Yes. One more.
One more?
Yep. Okay, and now you're gonna switch on the pen. So, this one, oh,
You want, that was mine.
nope, you're good. He used his pen, that's okay.
You need to just,
So,
you just
this
need
one
their
twice.
signatures.
This one twice.
Just their signatures.
Yes, just these two. Chair and vice chair. You're gonna have to use this pen. Because you used a ballpoint pen, I'm assuming it's gonna be the. Thank you, and then that one, and then twice. This is for Tracy. It's for Steve. It's yours?
We're just creeping in to get ready.
Yep, sorry. I knew you guys were gonna ask, and I'm like.
That's what we do. We're just gonna creep in.
Yep, just needed signatures, blank signatures on blank paper.
Just the start of your TV moment.
Yes.
I'm right now, Lily, 'cause